Good morning. I started the camera in motion here, or actually, the camera's not in motion. My mouth is in motion, and my mind is not clear even to what I'm going to talk about today. I don't even have a clear title, although I've been pondering lots of things since I awakened about an hour ago. And most of what is coming to me relates to last night's discussion here at my home at the Mary Horgan Center in Melbourne, Florida, where we showed the video of Ken Cousins addressing the jamboree in California, the California Republic, about the Republic for the United States of America. So we were focusing on that quite a bit last night, and we had about 13 or 14 people here, I guess. Some of them are in the Republic, and others are still curious and still looking, have not joined as yet. In any case, after the video, and we went into our discussion mode, I was amazed and disappointed, and all sorts of emotions were flowing as people expressed where they were. And I observed, and of course, as I often do, I wanted to put a positive spin on everything that's happening. But what was coming forth from a lot of people was the frustration that was being felt, especially by some of those that have been in the Republic about as long as I have, and have been listening to the promises that this announcement was going to happen and that announcement was going to happen, and the announcements didn't come as was anticipated, making them look like liars in front of their friends and like they were chasing some sort of a thing. And they said it's just not being, one person in particular was saying it's just not being run like a business. If I ran a business like that, I would never be able to succeed. You can't be making promises and not following through with what you say you're going to do. So let me just say that for years, probably 10 years now, it was probably about 10 years ago that I first heard the concept of Nicera. And Nicera is, from my perspective, it's a plan to stabilize the United States government and bring it back to its constitutional roots, redistribute wealth using the World Trust, the St. Germain and other world trusts, and it would be a boon for all of mankind and all of humanity. And over the 10 years since I heard that, and since I began to really look at the concept of first contact and many other things that have been proposed by lots of people that I've resonated strongly with over these 10 years. And yet, the truth of the matter is, very little of the promises that have been made and the expectations that we've harbored in our hearts and souls have actually come to fruition. And I could see that in things in my personal life as well as in the collective of humanity. The flame of freedom burns, and it's been burning this entire new millennium of the 21st century. People have become aware of things that we weren't aware of in the past. And there's been a lot of dissatisfaction, a lot of frustration, a lot of disappointments. Because things just simply, from our perspective, aren't happening quickly enough. So I can fully identify. Of course, I can identify with everybody. But I can feel these feelings because they're part of the collective, and I am tapped into the collective, and I don't choose, like so many people choose to disassociate and disconnect themselves from what they consider negative. I don't do that. I have not done that for a very long time in my life because I've considered myself part of everything. Everything is is connected to me. I'm not separate from it. I've been talking about that for years and years, even before the 10 years ago when I heard about Nicera. I've been talking about this unity consciousness thing. And for a long time, people didn't understand. When I would point out the what were considered negative things, I was labeled as a negative person. And it's wonderful to be getting the feedback from people about how positive and uplifting my message is since I've been doing these ninth wave videos. And yet I've been labeled as a negative person by people that know me, and even my friends here last night. I mean, some of them are really, really frustrated with the promises. They want to see actual changes. And I bet you there's a lot of you that are listening to this in different parts of the world that are in the same boat. You're wanting to see the changes. When is it going to happen here? As the person asked me from Ireland a couple months ago, I guess it was now. When is it going to happen here? When are the dominoes going to start falling? When are things going to happen that everybody knows about? And as I said last night, somewhere there has to be a catalyzing event. And I'm not talking in terms of like the Project for a New American Century, where they said there has to be a catalyzing event that gives them the ability to create this new world order, this new world totalitarian dictatorship where the small group of people control all the people in the entire world, and the slaves are brought into total domination by the slave masters. I'm not talking about that, but there does need for the light. There is going to be a new world order. There's no question in my mind. There's never been a question in my mind that there's going to be a new world order, because the old world cannot keep going. It's unsustainable the way that it has been. It is totally unsustainable. Everything in the structure has to come down. It has to come down. It cannot succeed the way that it has been. There has to be a new world order, and there has to be a catalyzing event for the unity consciousness to be able to be focused sufficiently that it brings about the changes that we all feel are coming, but we don't know the hows. We don't know the steps that have to be taken. And I don't either. I can't give you the dates and the times. I'd be a fool if I tried. I don't know them, for one thing, and I'm not going to pretend I do for another thing, because that just builds up hope that's going to be disappointed. And then you're going to have the frustration that I saw last night as people expressed the reaction of their friends to them when they've been told, you know, there's going to be a big announcement that's going to change everything in the United States. And when the United States domino falls, the rest of the world falls in place. And it's going to happen. I still believe with all of my heart, no, I know in my soul that it's going to happen. The changes are coming, and they're coming fast. And I feel the frustration. I feel it. I feel it. And I don't know what that catalyzing event is going to be. First contact would be a tremendous one. I'd rather see it happen with the collapse of the United States government, the official government shutting down. I wanted to see that happen so badly. I wanted to see that happen. But the truth of the matter is, the discord that has been sown in the people in the very republic itself, which is the overlay, it's been seeded apparently by people in the de facto government to upset. But then again, maybe it's just the underworld opening up and people's ego and everything else running rampant. I don't know. But there's going to be a catalyzing event that's going to happen this year. Today, according to Carl Kalaman's calendar, is the beginning of the second day. I'm glad for that. I have some people still writing me that are still into the February 11th starting date. And again, as I've said many times, it doesn't matter to me. We're in this period. There's going to be oscillations, ups and downs, roller coasters. We're going to experience these things, folks. Make no mistake about it. And I'm going to continue, even with the disappointments that I face personally in my life and I'm connected to through friends that I can touch physically and hug physically. Even there, I am aware of all of these things, all of these disappointments. I'm aware of it. I feel it. They're my disappointments because I'm connected to that. But I'm holding out the light to each of you that the changes are coming. The dominoes are going to fall. It's going to happen, folks. It's going to happen. The one gentleman last night said it's going to take 25 or 30 years for it to happen. I don't buy that, folks. I don't buy it. It's going to be very, very quick. When the dominoes start to fall, it's going to happen quickly. I don't believe that everyone is going to wake up and embrace it all at the same time, but a sufficient number of people will, that it will provide a foundation for the changes and the growth. And I do believe there still has to be a process of growth in each individual life where people awaken, but it's going to happen much more quickly as this 100th monkey principle comes into effect. And it's already in effect. And it's happening. So I wish I could be more uplifting for you, but I feel your frustration. And many of you are frustrated. I feel that. I've heard the expression. I've heard it in my own meeting, in my own home last evening. I heard the frustration of people wondering, what's going to happen with the infrastructure? Are they going to shut off the electricity? Are they going to stop the food supply? Are they going to cut off the gasoline supply? How is our life going to continue with the major disruptions that are ahead? Do we need to stock up on food? All sorts of questions were coming up last night. All sorts of questions. The difference between fear and wisdom. Wisdom being plan for the worst. Fear being, to me, that is fear. But I was told it's wisdom to plan for the worst. As my friend Margie said at the end, what about manna? I mean, the children of Israel were provided every day with the manna. And when they tried to store it up, it rotted. That wasn't the game plan, to store it up for the rainy day. Do I have all the answers? No, I don't. But I embrace you with love. And I embraced the whole world with love. I sat there in meditation both last night and again this morning, holding the whole world in my heart. I'm not disconnected from any of it, not the light nor the darkness. It's all part of me and it's all part of you. This is a holographic universe. That's the truth. Everything is contained in everything else. That's just the way it is. And changes are coming to our experiential as well as our perceptual reality. The perception of our three-dimensional eyes are going to be opened as our fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional eyes of our heart are opened. I'm going to leave you with that this morning. Thank you again for listening. Be encouraged. Be encouraged by listening to your own heart and your own soul. I bless you. Namaste.